ProWrestlingSheet.com.
I should, Glenn, that's a good one. I should call these wrestling with technology because I am terrible at them. Okay, James. Hello.
Glenn, great name for the show.
Hell in a Cell. Honestly, going into this show,
Fail in a jail.
Wasn't super excited.
Full time.
I wasn't super excited about it. I in the predictions article that I wrote, since you didn't do them this month, or this week at least. I shouldn't say this month because there's so many of them. But since you didn't do the predictions this month, I had said in the beginning, I really wasn't. I'm the whole pay-per-view fatigue was really starting to get to me, and
you and I both.
But I always love. But I always love Hell in a Cell matches. So regardless of the pay-per-view fatigue, I was still excited to have one. What did you overall of pay-per-view before we start breaking down all the different matches that went down? What did you think of it overall?
Well, you froze up, but I'm going to assume you asked what I thought of the pay-per-view.
Yes.
From there, I liked it. I am angry that I did, but I liked it. Yeah. Like out of 10, like if I was a grade school teacher, that was a solid B show. Like it's definitely passing. It's quality. Could they do better? Sure, they definitely could do better. But like solid B. What are you looking at? What is that notification?
Oh, I was texting my girlfriend to ask her if she could come grab the dog because he's trying to get in on the camera.
Nice.
He's trying to get in on the shot. So I was like, can you please come grab the dog because he's not.
I think the dog's the greatest addition to the show. This is great.
And then I was also trying to pull up the chat on my phone so I can make sure I could follow along with what everyone was saying while also listening to you. And yeah, I got to agree with you. I think I wasn't expecting much. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erica. I wasn't expecting much from this show, but the two cell matches really, as it was, really did pay off on this pay-per-view. I mean, I really think that those two matches were great. And even if the other matches maybe that were on the card were, I don't know, I wouldn't say not great, but maybe not as special as those two matches. I think regardless, altogether, it made for a really good show. What do you think about them starting off with one of the Hell in a Cell matches?
Oh, I liked it. I found it very worthwhile. I mean, if we roll back the clock a year, I mean, they're technically, past 2 years. Last year they had, Sasha Charlotte Cell. So the first ever women's main event on a pay-per-view, first ever women's Hell in a Cell. That was fire, even though the ending was borderline trash. What was the other one? It was Rollins. Why am I blanking out on this? Who did Rollins fight in the Cell?
I forget off the top of my head.
It was Rollins someone. Someone clarify it or look it up. I don't care. Either way, that was real good. And this year, they let off with New Day, which was a great decision. Really got everyone up. Title change was fantastic. They played out. The match itself was played out perfectly, I thought. Big fan. I really enjoyed that match. That was one I walked in thinking okay, it has the capacity to be good, but will it? It's Usos New Day, a match we have seen, X amount of times at this point. And
so many times, but they somehow, they've done a good job at making it feel fresh every time.
Yeah. Something tells me this is the end of it, which is great. They both need to move on to greener pastures, whatever they may be. But yeah, no, big fan of it.
Well, since you say that, that was another thing I mentioned in the prediction article that just my thought process in it all was, as much as the New Day are one of the most popular acts in WWE right now, if you look at the landscape of the tag division on SmackDown Live, it's very it's filled with a lot of face tag teams. So, going out of this event, it did kind of make sense to have a heel team with the tag titles because there's a bunch of opportunities, a bunch of different directions they could go in. They could go with the Shelton Gable and Chad Benjamin, or Fashion Police, or a bunch of different directions that they could have available to them with the Usos as the tag champions.
Or maybe bring in some, guys on SmackDown who might be underutilized. Who knows?
Oh, wait, I think we got the answer from Glenn here to your question. Owens versus Rollins last year and Roman versus Rusev as well was in the cell last year.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Roman Rusev because that gave me the great Roman with the chain in his mouth photo, which is just my favorite.
yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Glenn. Hi, Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn always is on point. Glenn, he's on. He's Glenn always knows. In all these things. He's number one fan here. So yeah, definitely. Okay, so starting with the match, I like that they kind of tried to do something different with the kendo sticks. Like I like that they really focused on doing the kendo stick thing, and they had a bunch of those kendo sticks. They had the rainbow kendo sticks. They had a whole host of kendo sticks. And when they put one of them in the corner, I forget which brother they put in the corner of the Usos, but they put one of the Usos in the corner, kind of like had him stuck between, like behind all the different kendo. I thought that was such an innovative idea. Like that's not something you've seen them really do, and I thought that was a smart idea.
Well, it was very interesting with this one, just for and they typically break out weapons, but it's like, oh, here's some stairs. We have a singular chair. And this one, they really went under the ring and kind of cleared it out, which again begs the question, who the fuck is putting this stuff under there? But at the same time, it was cool just to see them just empty out shop and be like, cool, let's destroy 50 things. Perfect. We'll get handcuffs in there. We'll bring a bunch of sticks. And they were just doing wacky shit the entire match. At a certain point in a really weird spot, Xavier's hanging from the ring post and they're just beating him to death. And I was like, this is a fun spot. Kind of weird, but fun.
You say fun. I was uncomfortable during that segment, or during that segment of the match or whatever. It was just, I felt, oh man, it looked so painful seeing it was ECW style or something, seeing someone being hung up like that where they're not protecting themselves whatsoever and they're both just hammering away with the kendo stick, man. He's going to have some serious welts tomorrow after that.
Oh, entirely. Yeah. I'm very excited to see how beat the hell up everyone is after that match, because especially I think the one that I screamed at, whether it was Jimmy or Jay, was one where Big E got him off the apron and out of nowhere Xavier just runs in for the backstabber, and it was no, don't do that again. Don't kill yourself.
Well, it's similar to that one part in the match when one of the Usos had I think it was Big E on his shoulders, and they did the running dive to the outside where they did a shoulder block into the cage. And I thought to myself, man, that looks way more painful to you. He went head first into the cage, right? And it looks so painful.
Yeah. No, that was the thing. Everything in that match was just wow, that looks like it hurt a lot more than it probably did. I feel bad for all of you. I don't want to do this. But awesome.
I gotta say though, I didn't think I was wondering if the main event Hell in a Cell match was going to be able to top the tag one, because when it was over, I was like, man, that was so painful. It was so brutal. I kind of expected them to have a few fun spots in there, but I mean, the only fun quote unquote thing that was in the match really was the kendo sticks that had rainbow wrapped around them, and those still got used for brutal purposes. So
yeah, no, it was very fun. It was very brutal. I'm a fan. I gave that one an A. That one out of my rating system got an A for me.
Do you think that it warranted having the Hell in a Cell match over Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura? Because I saw a lot of people online that were like, man, it's kind of stupid that the world title wasn't defended in the Hell in a Cell match. And for me, it's something that I mentioned in the prediction article as well, but I kind of felt like the Hell in a Cell wouldn't have added anything to Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Listen, he's already had to defend it in some insane structures, i.e. Punjabi prison, that nightmare structure that very few people survive, very few people escape.
Yes.
He did.
He did?
No, I don't know. It's one of those things that we can, nitpick about this shit, but at the same time, save Shinsuke. Like, I would much rather Shinsuke being in a cell, being saved for like, oh, hey, maybe if the gods grace us and Vince dies and the planets align, we get AJ Shinsuke for 4 months over Hell in a Cell, and that happens. And no one's going to argue. No one's going to be like, oh, well, remember a year ago when we could have had Jinder Shinsuke? It doesn't add anything. So
do you think
that?
Because I had said the same thing, that I feel like AJ versus Jinder has to be where they're going here. And now that Baron did win the U.S. title, do you think that AJ is still going to be in that scene because of the way he lost it? Or do you think because of the way he lost it, it gives him more of an argument to kind of transition into the world title scene again against Jinder, and then Ty Dillinger and Baron Corbin can kind of mess with the U.S. title?
We're skimming over a lot here. First, all hail, because Baron Corbin is now a U.S. champion. And I've wanted this since day one. Maybe not U.S. champion, just a champion of any sorts, but now that he has that, I'm like, perfect. You keep that forever.
Yeah.
For people unfamiliar with me, I am two things. One, a Baron Corbin mark, and two, an Elias mark, and Ryan is neither.
Although Elias has been growing on me.
He's going to need to grow on you a whole bunch, because I believe it's next week 2K18 comes out, and he is going to destroy you week in, week out, and it's going to be great. Elias is just going to ruin whatever character you have. Back to your original point. No, with AJ, he has to be in the title scene. The thing that pisses me off about this is, in the back of my head, I can't get it out, that Jinder is holding this till Mania. So at that point, if he's doing it for that long, whoever is going to get fed to him between now and April, it's just kind of a situation where, all right, cool, we have AJ for 3 months, and then it's going to be Singh brothers interfering, and he wins 3 matches in a row against AJ or some shit. I don't know. There's not a lot of interesting stuff you can do with him between now and then, because it's just going to be him winning. I don't know. I think a real fun thing, maybe have like a Jinder Brock match at somewhere in there where it's just champion versus champion, just to like have a match where no one has to lose anything, maybe. But outside of that,
oh yeah, I guess actually I forgot about Survivor Series. That's actually the next one, right?
Is it I think it is.
No, well, sorry. It's TLC. TLC.
Oh yeah, how could we forget about TLC? Because we have Asuka and Shield, yeah.
And then it's Survivor Series.
Things we didn't totally lead into. Like, we did not totally hint at those things. Not at all.
But no, so we got TLC and then Survivor Series. So actually, now that I think about it, I guess it would make sense if AJ and Baron and Ty Dillinger have a little bit of they continue it on SmackDown for a little bit until after maybe Survivor Series when he switches. Because I guess that kind of makes sense too, if they're going to do like maybe a 5-on-5 thing, or champions versus champions at Survivor Series or anything like that. I guess that would actually make more sense.
Ways of delaying it, and then, before we know it, like, Christ, we're in October already. January is Rumble. So we're going to get those Mania storylines weirdly sooner than later. So
it's crazy that it already feels like WrestleMania season is creeping up again. Like, I got to get a hotel already. I'm lagging. I got to get on that.
It's almost like WWE is a never-ending cycle of pain. It makes you lose track of the calendar.
So because I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch Randy Orton versus Rusev versus Rusev. I was kind of like half watching, but like I'm gonna guess it didn't really matter that much if I watched it or not.
Who wasn't half watching that?
Okay, so that wasn't just me. Okay, good.
No, not at all. Well, the problem is they have that match, and it's something where going into it, you're like, I really want Rusev to win. He should win. Like, really build this guy up. And somewhere in the back of your head, you're like, they're not going to do it. They're not going to let him, are they? And each time, it's like, oh, he wins on SmackDown, and then the big match. He's pretty much the Bulgarian Bray Wyatt. It's
you nailed it. That is actually 100% how it feels. That he is the Bulgarian Bray Wyatt. It almost feels like he has to be like in trouble for something. Because man, it's like after that injury, you thought he was going to come back and get this like big push, and he comes back and he's just been getting the shit kicked out of him by Randy Orton. And
are you saying he has a lot of heat, like Baron Corbin? Like Baron Corbin level heat?
Yeah, because everyone knows that they reward Baron Corbin level heat with a title run.
You know, if the entire backstage hates you, they give you like cruiserweight championships and US titles, and it just makes sense. Like, that's how they get rid of it.
You said it, not me. But but you know, it does kind of feel, and tell me if you agree with me, you know, this is another thing I hate to keep bringing the prediction article, but most of my predictions were right tonight. I had myself on the back here. But it almost feels like they're, you know, because Randy Orton lost so many times against like Jinder Mahal and Bray Wyatt over the past, you know, year or so, under a year, it almost kind of feels like they're trying to give him some of his main event credibility back with some of these wins, and they're using Rusev to do it. Am I right? Do you think it feels that way?
Oh, entirely. Like, that is 100% all it is. And it's infuriating because Rusev could be a main event player, and they're like, no, not now. You're going to job to Randy.
I honestly feel like, I mean, I get that there's a Jinder Mahal project going on right now, and I'm not like saying they should abort it or anything, but just from a creative perspective, like, Rusev would have done so much better if they handed him that role. You know, if they had given him that trust. You know, I know that they're not trying to get into the Bulgarian market, so maybe that is I'm sure that's the reason he's here, but or one of the reasons here. It's not the only reason, but I'm just saying, like, it sucks to see that he's getting just kind of just like not buried. I hate to say that kind of thing. That's not the right word, but it just sucks to see that he's like never winning. It sucks.
Yeah, well, he gets shoehorned into an angle with Aiden English, I guess, because that's now a thing.
Who's wearing that suit now that I like? He's wearing it on the pre-show. I like this, like, it's a fancy suit that he's wearing.
I didn't watch the pre-show. I'm gonna be honest.
Was
it his penguin suit?
Yeah, it was like the penguin suit. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. As long as it's the penguin suit, I'm happy.
Now, what did you think? What did you think about them making this last-minute decision to make it a three-way, the U.S. title match?
I mean, it makes sense. I'm kind of fully like on board for Ty Dillinger's character, just to like complain and get into matches last minute that he doesn't deserve. Like, that would be a great character arc of him just like the night of a pay-per-view just pester people to the point of being like, fine, you're in the match. Like, just go do it. It's a throwaway match. Like, get out of my face. But it makes sense. You know, you want to build up AJ. You don't want AJ to lose credibility. You know, like, it's obvious, like, during a rematch, Baron's going to have to beat AJ. But at the very least, for losing the title, he didn't actually lose it. So,
I thought that was actually, you know, when they were first announcing it, during the pre-show, when they turned it into a three-way, I was kind of like, that's random, you know? And then while it was happening, I was like, oh, it's because Ty is going to take the pin, so that makes a little more sense. I thought it was smart. I thought it was a smart way of keeping AJ strong, making Baron.
That's what's on.
Yeah, it gave even more heat to Baron, where he's kind of like this asshole that won in a crappy way. So yeah, I was into it. I was into the match. I liked the finish. I thought that the finish was done in a smart way. And yeah, I knew right when he won. I knew you were gonna be excited since you're such a big fan.
All hail! I love it. I love all iterations of Baron Corbin. Short hair, weird NXT one, receding hairline, creepy one. I want him to bring back the skull shoulder pads at all times. Like, yes, I'm in.
Do you think
it was?
Go ahead.
It was honestly that one Talking Smack promo that like sold me on him forever, where people were like, "Oh, like you don't want to make a lot of friends here," and he's like, "I have plenty of friends. I'm at work. I don't want to make friends at work." It's like, perfect. You are my favorite. He gets me.
And I feel like Baron getting a title finally will kind of wash some of that Money in the Bank lost luster away. You know, I know it kind of like, I think everyone was kind of excited that he was going to be getting this big push or a future world title shot, and he lost it pretty quickly. I think people were kind of bummed, and then, like you had kind of mentioned, there were all these rumors that he's got all this heat, and that people don't like him in the locker room. So I think this is finally a way to kind of reposition him back to where he was before all of that.
Don't even say he lost it kind of quickly. He lost it, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, he's going to get a win over Cena." So a trade-off, and then Cena beat him. So yes. I was just infuriated because why? Why do that? That makes zero sense. You invest time.
I can see the anger in your face just as we speak right now. Like I can see the steam rising from your top of your head as we're talking.
There's a lot of WWE decisions where I'm like, I don't agree with them, but I'm like, okay, I see the wheels turning. I kind of get what you want to do. Like, perfect. And that was one where I was like, he lost the case, and I was like, it was a real dumb way to do it. But for the SummerSlam push, like, great. Like, let him beat Cena. That's perfect. Like, he'll be on a shorter list. Like, that's great. And then, no, he lost Cena. And I screamed and threw my drink and then promptly ordered another one. It was fine.
Do you have one of those green Red Bulls that you're drinking right now?
No, there's a La Croix.
Oh, La Croix. I forgot you mentioned that earlier. You've been on that La Croix tip. You've been on that La Croix tip for a minute now.
If anyone from La Croix is watching and would like to offer an endorsement, I will gladly accept in free seltzer.
I was hoping it was one of the green Red Bulls. I've been lately. It's been I tried one for the first time recently, and I'm a big fan.
Real edgy. Good job.
So says the guy drinking the green La Croix.
I never thought I was edgy. This is La Croix, the most basic white person drink.
So I'm gonna guess. So I'm gonna guess for the three-way, we're getting A+ from you on that one. I'm pretty sure you're excited on that one.
I'm gonna say B+ because that was a B+ match.
Oh.
I can't say A+.
Ooh.
It would have been. It would have been a. No.
Wait. No, wait. Hold on. Henry in the.
Wait, what?
In the chat room. It's Henry in the chat room. He says that it's pronounced LaCroix. Isn't it? Bra?
Let's play this fun game called I Don't Care.
Well, I would like to make sure I'm saying it right. I care about it.
You see, don't write words like this on cans if you want me to say them correctly. You know what I drink? I like Polar Seltzer more. Polar from Worcester, Massachusetts. That's my place.
What is this Polar Seltzer you keep mentioning?
You don't get it on the West Coast because you're not fancy.
No, I probably wouldn't drink it if I did, though.
I mean, obviously, but still.
right, well, back to what we were talking about. So moving on.
Check him out, by the way. Sorry, I just want to point this out. I want people to notice the production value going in on Ryan's side. I just noticed you had the staticky logo in the back, and I love it. It's great.
That's good,
merchandising right there. It's fantastic.
I'm trying to step up the production value. No, you don't. I'm trying to step up the production value on my end. I would like to know if you guys in the chat that are watching, does it look more decent on my end here? I need to move the Sean Connery painting here so that it's not like right behind me, because it looks kind of weird when he's like right there. You know, I think I need to move that. But TV works, right? TV's kind of cool.
It works for me. I'm saying I like it. Thumbs up.
Okay, good. Well, things I liked was the next match was Charlotte versus Natalya. I thought that it wasn't like anything that blew me away, but I thought that it was a strong match.
I think
it was entertaining to watch.
My favorite part was the very end, where Natalya got disqualified and she hit Natalya with the chair. I mean, hit Charlotte with the chair, and then picked it up and almost did a headshot, and then realized what she was doing at the very last moment, and it was perfect.
I actually love that part too. I was cracking up. I was like, oh, like, because I like for a second did like a little like, oh, is she gonna hit her with a headshot? Like, damn. And then when she stopped, I was like, oh, all right. Cool. All right. That was
like
nice.
This far away. This far away, and then deviated path, and it was perfect. I loved it. No, that match was good.
Well, Cody mentioned this in the chat here, and this is something I had tweeted after the show as well. But it seems like because of the DQ win that that Charlotte got with Natalya doing the chair shot, it kind of seems like they're gonna do something at that Starrcade to have some kind of thing that goes not necessarily viral, but something that gets picked up on all the wrestling sites. Something that happens at a live show, and I feel like it might be possible that we see a title change at Starrcade between Charlotte and Natalya.
I would not doubt that for a second. Especially
right?
the biggie off that one is Jeff fucked up his shoulder. So now, like, out of the two big selling points for that show, for like hometown like people, one of them is gone. So like they need Charlotte to be like the big torchbearer for this whole thing. So I think that might be how they do it. That'd be a real good twist.
I think so too, and it only makes sense because of the whole Flair tie to Starrcade, and I don't know. I have no insight on this one. I'm sure you don't have any insight on this one either, but it just kind of seems like the smart decision here, like to do some kind of cool moment at Starrcade, because like you said, the hometown person, it would only make sense.
Yeah. First of all, how are you sure I don't have insight?
Well, I'm guessing. I don't know.
We would have talked about it. I didn't.
You still got sneaky things. You love your little sneaky things. You got sneaky before the pay-per-view again tonight.
I get a little info here and there. I hear some things, and I like to tease. I'm tantalizing like that, and it's a great time.
When you Sami Zayn one tonight, when you did your little punk rock Operation Ivy thing tonight, I laughed at it. I was like, oh man. And that was one you didn't tell me about beforehand, but I knew where you were going with it right away. There was no song like I could have done better than Take Warning. Whereas okay, like as soon as so for those of you who didn't see it, explain what you did.
So pretty much what went down on there, what went down on the tweets. There was kind of an inkling going around that Sami was going to twist in the main event and help Kevy out. So I just kind of put a nice little Op Ivy song lyric. And that was it. It was just a friendly Op Ivy song lyric.
Well,
and it was from Take Warning. Yeah, we'll get there.
we'll talk about that match, but I did like that you got sneaky once again a little bit. Not as sneaky as you got. It wasn't quite Jason Jordan level of sneaky, but still.
Like a month-and-a-half troll job on people, just being like, here.
Although the Sami Zayn thing did surprise me, and I am excited to talk about that in a minute. But
yeah,
I mean, in the prediction article that I wrote,
first.
I know, but in the prediction article that I wrote, I thought that they were going to give the title to Charlotte here because it kind of seems inevitable with her eventually getting the women's title on SmackDown. But now that we talked about the Starrcade thing, and I thought about it after the fact, if that's the direction they go, or even if they just want to prolong it a little bit to a bigger event, I guess when Charlotte does finally win the women's title, I'm into it. I dig it because it's only a matter of time. Like we all know.
Oh yeah.
It's literally just been waiting for her, like until they're ready to pull the trigger. Like they're gonna do it.
Oh yeah, no, it's happening. It is it has to happen at this point. The big thing to remember though is Carmella is waiting in the wings, and that they burned. I'm just saying they burned Baron, so we know that one that, especially being the first one. It's highly doubtful that they would nix that opportunity to let someone cash in. So
they haven't done it in a while. I'm trying to remember when the last time. I feel like we rarely ever get this, but I would almost like Carmella to say, "I'm going to hold on to this to WrestleMania, and I want my shot at WrestleMania." Like Carmella seems like the type where she doesn't necessarily have to run in and do it the cheater way to get it, but.
I mean, if anything, I think it's going to happen by the 2018. It's just
before 2018.
Yeah.
What month are we in? October, November, December. All right.
It's only 3 months right there.
All right.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, that's.
It would give a big moment to Survivor Series. Just saying, and don't get me wrong. I would love it to last till Mania and have Carmella do a natural cash-in. But, Carmella's not that person. Carmella's character is, hey, this person's down and out. I got Ellsworth with me. I can do things.
I just couldn't tell if your Survivor Series mentioned right there was Cryptic James or was you just speculating in your head. Sometimes I never know with you.
Oh, what, for Carmella?
Yeah.
It's getting a little... Is that my internet or yours? Yeah, you dropped out for a second.
Oh, no, what I said was I laughed when you mentioned the Carmella Survivor Series thing because sometimes I never know when I'm talking with you, sometimes if you're being Cryptic James with information that you have, or if that's just you speculating in your head.
Just me speculate. It's me fantasy booking. Things I would like to have. I want to see out in the world.
You never know sometimes with you. You always got to be on your toes when I'm talking with you.
Yeah. Or maybe it is information. Who knows? No, I'm speculating. Yeah, it's information. Speculating.
Okay, so moving on. Actually... moving on. I don't care about this other point that I had written down in that match. But Jinder versus Nakamura. What did you think of the match? Oh, wait. Before we get to that, I was so happy to see the Fashion Files. We're back.
Yep. Pulp Fashion. Can't wait.
Henry brought up, he says, speaking of Ellsworth, will he be the Gimp in Fashion Files Pulp Fiction?
Who knows? That would be great. I would be down for it. Perfect. Let's go with that. I'm in. I want that to happen now.
I'm wondering how far they can go in a Pulp Fiction with the Fashion Files. But I did like for this one, I felt bad for the Ascension. They want to be friends with the Fashion Police. The Fashion Police totally dissed them.
Good.
Oh, whoa, hot take. What
No, I'm an Ascension fan, but I need them to be bad guys. I don't want them. They have no friends. They're from the wasteland.
See, I am one of the people who saw their funny side in Southpaw Regional Wrestling and feel like they're being wasted in, well, I guess that was a bad choice of words, but they're being wasted in the wasteland. I feel like they're so funny, and they've been so funny in these Fashion Files things. Like, I'm totally cool with them not being the scary dudes anymore and transitioning into almost like how the Acolytes used to be, the scary guys who were part of the corporate ministry, and then they became like the Acolyte Protection Agency. Like, I am a firm believer that these guys need that kind of change where they can start to show more of their character and talk, because every time they talk, they are entertaining so far that we've seen in these segments.
They are, yeah.
So I hope that maybe I want to see them become like the bodyguard for the Fashion Police or something like that.
Yeah, no, I'd be down for that. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know, it's hard to say. I love the Fashion Files. I want that to continue.
Me too. They were missed.
Yeah. It definitely makes 2 hours go by easier, which is weird to say considering Raw is 3. But still, lovely time.
Yeah, no, it was great to have the Fashion Files back. Like, I was so excited to have the Fashion Files back.
Oh, yeah. No, but I mean,
Maharaja. We can get to, okay. Sorry, I
Maharaja time.
Maharaja time. What did you think of the match?
It wasn't good.
I have like notes for everything on like all these matches, and I just wrote for that match, kind of sucked.
Jinder's title reign is my favorite, strictly because people like in the whole 6 stages of guilt thing, there's acceptance, and people I don't think are ever going to get to that. So 6 stages of guilt, 6 stages of grief, but like every time there's a Jinder title match, they're like, this is the one. He's losing it tonight. This is happening. Shinsuke champion. What a wonderful time. And he doesn't do it. And like I said, I'm a firm believer they're going to have him hold it till Mania, because this happens every pay-per-view. And I feel like people are getting more and more like desperate for this weird shit to happen. I love it. I'm in. Go Jinder. I want him holding till Mania 2020. Like, really just make a meal out of it.
I was going to say, because people are so mad every time he wins after he beats someone like a Nakamura or something like that. I'm worried he's going to keep it beyond WrestleMania now. Like, Vince must love it so much to see like everyone getting so worked up over Jinder Mahal. He has to love it. Vince loves something like that. So, yeah, dude, like but that match, so rough. And I don't even want to give the full fault to Jinder Mahal. I know everyone loves Nakamura, but like, and there's only so much Nakamura can do. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, But just the whole thing, just like there wasn't anything that really stood out from it whatsoever. And everyone was like, oh, like should have been in a Hell in a Cell. But really, like, think about how much worse it would have been if it was a Hell in a Cell match. Like, how disappointing it would have been if that was a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, you've seen Jinder in a Punjabi prison. Just imagine him with a regular ring. And it's like, whatever. It's the thing I might like most about his title reign is it's just how unremarkable so much of it is. And it's not to say he doesn't deserve like a championship or doing things or all that fun stuff. But at the same time, it is a very like, you're surrounded by all of this talent. And then it's like, well, no, Jinder's champ. And I still roll back to that one amazing SmackDown where we got that incredible graphic where it was John Cena versus Jinder Mahal, and it was John Cena versus Shinsuke, and it was #1 contenders match to face Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam, and it was like, yes, this is everything I want. I want John Cena and Shinsuke in throwaway matches on SmackDown to face Jinder Mahal.
The big honor of facing Jinder Mahal.
You have this match that people have been like, hey, they have to literally create characters on video games to play it. And they finally get it. And it's on a SmackDown in like June. It's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, so like we had said before, we kind of discussed already what we were thinking the future of Jinder Mahal is. So I am interested to see, if they are in a little bit of a holding pattern until Survivor Series. I'm wondering if we're going to continue to see a little bit more of Nakamura and Jinder on SmackDown, or maybe him bragging, saying like he's not going to face anyone until there's better competition, or I don't know, something like that.
I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to say where they go from here. It being that the next SmackDown pay-per-view, I believe, is Survivor Series, there's a good chance he just goes and throw away things, and then he's part of a 5-on-5. Because he'll definitely be in the match, because what are you going to do with him?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm worried.
I don't know.
I'm worried to see if they do something else.
Of what?
With Jinder at Survivor Series, because it would be much nicer to have him in the 5-on-5, a little bit of a break,
I told you what I want. Like, no, it's not even giving him a bit of a break, but like you've been letting him again. It's the whole like, hey, we built up all this hate for him. How do we disperse that hate without derailing the train that we've built? Feed him to Brock. Just be like, okay, cool, champion. Like they're gonna do Raw SmackDown anyways. You might as well do like.
You want to see Jinder versus Brock?
I would, because Brock's going to destroy him, and it's going to be a thing that he can't get away from. You're going to get Brock F5ing the Bros, and just imagine how glorious those F5s are going to be. You saw Randy backflip one of them onto a table, and like he almost like 450'd onto it. Brock F5ing him is going to be like out onto the entryway. It's going to be incredible.
What if Jinder beats him though?
Do you know how happy I'll be? Oh my god! Like me describing that match is not for me. That is for everyone to be like, well, okay, this is how we disperse the hate. Like the aggression gets taken out on, but he's still champion and everything's fine. Like he got beat, but everything's cool.
I mean, Connor brings up a good point, though. He says in the chat that, would they really want to feed Jinder to Brock before they tour India, though?
Yeah, why not?
Well, because, it might make him look a little weak if he loses to big, bad, tough American Brock Lesnar right before he goes touring back in the hometown as champion.
Oh, because getting 2 tiny Indian boys to help him out every match makes him look super tough. I'm just saying, like, his current situation is not, helping him out as far as like looking really tough in his like hometown. But it's like that stuff doesn't matter. He'll be champion. He can beat guys while he's there. Brock is the dragon of WWE. He is the unbeatable monster. So
true. Now, the only other match I didn't quite pay attention to on this show because I was trying to make sure I had all this kind of stuff set up before we did it. Yeah, okay. At least it wasn't. Honestly, I went to go to the bathroom and I thought that I only had a few minutes before the main event, and I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, we got like half an hour." And then when I came rushing back out, I was like, "Oh man, I didn't even have to rush. Like I didn't even care about this match that much."
You missed Dolph's entrance, which was like the best Dolph entrance ever.
Yeah, Erica was in high praise over it. What did I miss? When I came out, I was like, dude, you missed Dolph's entrance. It was the best. I loved it.
He like spoofed his own entrance for a second, and then it just went dark. And he came out with no music and no entrance. He just walked out. It was incredible.
I kind of like that.
He literally came out, no Tron, no ramp, no music. He just walked.
And then he lost. Like, where do you think they go with him from here after all of that? Like, did this whole thing, like, do you think that was just a way to get this thing with Bobby Roode going? Is he go back and doing what he was doing before? Or do you see something, like, where he's just going to stop using music from now on? Like, what do you think? Who
knows? Who cares? I'm so tired with it. Dolph is a character. My big issue with WWE is there's a lot of situations that I view, and I feel bad because I know it's people's jobs and livelihoods, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, when are we paying you too much money for what you're doing, and when can we shift other people into the spotlight? And I think they're kind of getting there with some people, but with Dolph, it's, how many times do we reboot this guy? Like, they're on like 5 or 6 over the past few years of just like, okay, well, let's try this. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try this. And it's a lot of reiterations of the same character and rehashings of it. That where does it go? What does it do? And for me, it's doing 0. And I feel bad saying it like that because it's a human. He's trying to do his job to the best of his ability. And he's good at it. It's just the characters do not hit like they did 6 years ago. So.
Yeah, I mean, I am one of those people that's still a believer in the fact that I feel like there is still money in Dolph Ziggler, but I also understand the criticism of everyone who doesn't necessarily agree with me. Like I wasn't super into this whole. I enjoyed watching him mock all the entrances over the past few weeks, but it was so obvious where it was going. And I'm ready for it to be over. So,
here's the thing: it was obvious where it was going, but like, even when you get the payoff to it, where does it go after that? Like,
that's why at this point we got there. It's like, what do we care anymore? Like we did it, whatever. Yeah. Well. Let's move on to the main event here. Let's get to the good stuff. I know it's getting late on your end, but man, holy shit, man!
I haven't been.
Go ahead.
I haven't been physically worried about a match in a while, and like inside, right? I was watching. It was just like. And like I found myself like putting my hand over my mouth at certain points of just like, is someone going to get hurt? It's just, like when they did a really good job with it, but like when Kevin was like contemplating going off the cage, I was like, me and you have similar body types, and I don't think my body could absorb a fall like that. And I was looking at him, and I was like, I'm not saying I'm a world-class athlete or anything like that. But a body at that weight falling off that cage, that's going to suck. And I was like, he's going to hurt himself.
When he first got up there and was teasing like he was going to jump off, I was like, get out of here. Like, you're not going to jump off. Like, look, like, no offense, but no, you're not going to jump off that way. Like, who's going to jump off stomach first like that? You can't do stomach first like that, like a frog splash.
You say that, and I'm sure if someone asked, he would have. Like it's horrifying to think about.
Think of what that could do to your. Oh no! How would you even? No, I guess there's no. It's unsafe any way you do it, but still, like. So okay, we'll get to the jumping off part. Before we get to that, I kind of want to go in a little bit of order here. So the things we saw leading up to that. And the first, I think, my favorite first moment of the match was was Kevin Owens grinding Shane's face in the cage in front of his kids and yelling like, "This is your daddy, like I'm your daddy now," and yelling different things at them like shortly afterwards where he was yelling like, "I should be your hero," or "You should be looking up to me." I thought that was such a solid touch, even though Shane's kids totally no-sold Owens.
Oh, yeah. My favorite part about Kevin Owens' character, beyond everything else, beyond in-ring ability and like promo ability, is his ability in match to just scream things at people that like get him over in such weirdly insane ways. Like halfway through the match, he's just like, "Why are you making me do this?" And I was like, "This is perfect." Like,
I distinctly recall my first PWG show, and I hadn't been watching like a ton of Ring of Honor, but I was very aware of who Kevin Steen was, and I remember he was yelling stuff at people in the crowd at PWG, and you're very close, and to the ring and the wrestlers, and he was yelling stuff at the people in the crowd and talking crap to people and interacting with everyone in the crowd, and I was like, oh, okay, like this guy is awesome. Like this guy is hilarious. I see why everyone says this guy is so talented, besides his in-ring ability. But just seeing the way he presented himself in the ring and specifically like yelling stuff at the crowd, and I love that it's something that he's been able to kind of bring to a bigger audience as much as he can, you know, when he can, like that.
Oh yeah, no, it's perfect. It's perfection. Like it's no one else in the industry can do it the way that he does it, and it's just magical.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
The other part.
Continue down your path. No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say before they climbed out, another thing that I thought just looked brutal was that cannonball that he did to the outside through the table when Shane moved.
Yep. That's
like, that looked like no thank you.
Yeah, but Owens is really good at taking bumps that like make me cringe inside.
Oh yeah.
Where like I'm sure it wasn't as but like it's matted and it's a table, he's done it a million times. But in watching it, I was just like, no. No, oh God. I don't know. I love his matches. It's hard to like really like give in-depth analysis on a match that I watched and was just like, oh, that was good. Okay. Worried. I'm glad everyone's alive. Like maybe one of them's injured. Who knows? I have no idea. I hope they're both okay.
And so then they finally, that's so funny. There's a post about in the Patreon Facebook group about how all your tweets are always so cryptic that they always got to like make sure they're watching because now they saw your Sami Zayn one and they were like, oh man, this guy. That's great.
What is it? Let me see.
It's from Brendan Mizgala, and it's that picture of Charlie from Always Sunny where he's like
it's
that.
the Pepe Sylvia one. Perfect.
This is me whenever I see James tweeting.
Pepe Sylvia. I need to like. That's gotta be. I just moved into my new place. I need to like design my walls, and I should really design one of them to be the Pepe Sylvia map wall from It's Always Sunny.
It would be good for selfies. Every time you're doing selfies in front of that wall.
Yeah, it would be perfect.
For all the selfies that you're always posting.
Yes, all the time. All the time.
So then they finally get out, and they go up the cell. Well, first Owens goes up the cell. He teases like he's gonna jump off. He doesn't. Shane climbs up, hangs off cliffhanger style for a minute. Finally gets up onto the cage, and they're duking it out. And when they were fighting on top of the cage. That was like when I was cringing the most too, because it was like when they were doing stuff on the cell, you know, for a long time post Mick Foley, those usually seem much more reinforced and not like they're caving in like that.
Well,
and they look much more bouncy and KV-y this time for some reason.
They definitely, I definitely tweeted about it just because I was like, I remember the first one being held together by fucking zip ties. And that was like, why would you do that? Who thought that was a good idea? No. But even watching this one, like, it was definitely like, because half the moves, to put it bluntly, are the moves that you do in like 2K17 to break someone through the cage. It's like, oh, cool, here's a body slam, and like, here's this.
I was thinking the exact same thing while watching it. I was like, are they trying to recreate? Have they not played a 2K game? If you keep doing the same thing in the same part of the cell, it's going to break through. I don't know if you guys have played enough of those 2Ks, but I have. And
RT, Shane, RT. Reverse it. You know how it goes because I threw you off the cage multiple times.
Yeah, you're a cheater in those in 2K in general. So
no. I am a winner. Winner. Who won that match, Ryan? Who won that match?
I won a lot of matches. I don't even know which match you're referring to, but I won a lot of matches.
The Hell in a Cell match, specifically. Between you and me. Who won that?
This one, the winner of the match was Kevin Owens.
Oh, okay. Glad to see you want to get back on topic and not when I beat you. Okay, perfect.
But okay, so when they started to climb off, I thought to myself, like, really? They're not going to do some kind of big spot? Like, you can't climb up the cage.
Nope, big spots all
some kind of big spot. And I was thinking, and Jamie and I were texting, and he was like, you can't do that. That's not cool. Like, you can't tease everyone like that. Like, that's whack, you know? And then shortly after, Kevin gets knocked off, which was better. It was something. But then when Shane climbed up, was getting ready to do his elbow drop, I was like, man, Shane, like, you don't have to do that, man. Like, you already have that moment they play all the time with Undertaker. Like, man, like, you don't have to do it again. And honestly, this time, it looked much more painful this time when Shane landed. Like, his,
it did.
Obviously, everyone watching this probably saw, but, Sami Zayn came in and at the last second pulls Kevin Owens off the table, and he lands. And when he hit his elbow, it looked painful. And I was trying to look when I was watching the TV, and it looked really swollen, his elbow, when I was looking at it afterwards.
Well, so at first, as far as obviously hearing like some of the Sami Zayn stuff beforehand of like this might happen where Sami does a turn and all this fun stuff. I sat there and I was like, I wonder how they're going to pull that off with the cage. And then they went outside. And I was like, oh, he probably does a run-in or something. And then Shane climbed up. And as soon as Shane climbed up with Kevin on the table, I was like, oh, no. Because it was just one of those things of catch Kevin off the table. And Shane, for the second time in was it 2 years ago with that Mania? Like, Shane's going to take
No, that was the most recent Mania, wasn't it?
No. Most recent was AJ.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Come on, get your timelines. What are you doing? But, like, he takes a, like, unprotected dive through a table. And I'm like, well, off a cage. Off a cell, sorry. And it was just like, oh, Jesus, oh, no. And then, the jump, it was weird just because I think he was supposed to go cleanly through the table, and he definitely hit, like, the side and, like, slid off. And I was, I don't know, it was just rough to watch.
No, totally.
Looked incredible.
Yeah, no, I thought the exact same thing when I was watching. I was like, oh, he didn't hit. It didn't feel like he hit on target as much this time.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
He got a little more cocky this time, and he overshot it a tiny bit. Now, I had tweeted a week ago, like, just honestly, just watch it, no insight whatsoever, because you and I both hadn't heard about a Sami Zayn heel turn being in the works anytime soon. So from everything I heard, this seems like kind of like a last minute decision to have
more or less. I mean, maybe
turn, right?
I mean, well, it's one of those things of it does seem kind of last minute, but at the same time, it does seem like they've been doing a lot to like set these chess pieces up. And I mean,
to plant seeds a little bit here and there.
I know WWE creative isn't known for their subtleties because traditionally they're as subtle as a fucking falling anvil. But like they've done a lot of small things and they really haven't given them much. And it's like, okay, well, now it's my conspiracy theory brain talking of like, how much planning did you put into this? Because it could be 2 days, it could be 2 months. It's kind of weird.
Well, they did have that thing on SmackDown, if I recall, where he tried to talk. Sami tried talking to Shane, and Shane totally blew him off, and he looked kind of pissed off about it. So
yeah,
at least we'll give him till Tuesday because it looked like they gave themselves that chance if they wanted to go that direction. What do you think about heel Sami Zayn?
I love it. Sami Zayn is 100% the most underutilized talent in the company. He could get a lot better on promos, but you get better on promos with like actually being able to do work, which he can't right now. And being in ring is where he can really show off his talents. And plus, you get Owens Zayn back together, which is just my favorite iteration. I'm 100% for it. He needed
and we
a
definitely
reboot.
haven't seen like heel Sami Zayn in WWE, so I'm interested to see how that is portrayed. You know, I tweeted the other day where I said something along the lines of like, you know, I wanted him to have like to develop some sort of like alter ego, like Me, Myself, and Irene, where because he gets taken advantage of so much, he finally snaps and has this like asshole side,
which would be great.
And I hope that's kind of what we're going to get here is like asshole Sami Zayn, which is going to be interesting since he seems like such a nice guy, you know, like in life in general. He doesn't think for all this stuff for Syria. Like he just seems like a very positive person. So I'm interested to see if he's able to pull that off.
No, I think he will. It's hard to say, you know, what direction they're actually going to take it in. But if they play it, you know, correctly and really kind of gauge things week by week as far as like where they want to take it, I think they can do a lot with it. Or at the very least, you know, he's not champion. Maybe there's a face tag team that, you know, gets the, belts. Maybe they go for tag team for a little while. Like, who knows? There's a lot of avenues you could take with this. But I'm just happy to see Sami do shit. Like, finally.
Yeah, something. They're doing something with him, which is nice. But I do wonder like where they're gonna fit on the card because it's like, you know, Jinder is obviously the focal point on SmackDown as a champion. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, I guess the two of them don't really need titles. Like, they're gonna be over regardless. It's not like they need titles right now. So I guess they could be feuding like a tag team that feuds with like New Day or something along those lines, maybe.
Again, you got a bunch of time to burn. You know, I mean, after TLC, there's going to be Survivor Series. So now you have, after November, like you have that time to burn. No rush on pulling the trigger on anything dire, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. All right, well then overall, what did you think overall of the show? So you gave it you said earlier in the show, what'd you say?
I was rating a match, but that is also my rating for the show. Solid.
That seemed to be your overall rating for everything as we were giving them out here.
There's some B pluses. There is some C pluses. The final match was an A. Like there's a lot of things. Yeah. You know what? B plus. I'm gonna say B plus. Just for the Zayn term. Let's go. I'm a generous teacher. I'm gonna give that at the end.
I'm going to stick with B for me, overall show. There was 2 great matches. The rest were decent. But, those were 2 great matches that I really enjoyed a lot. So that ranks high with me in the Sami Zayn, what?
Which 2?
The 2 Hell in a Cell matches.
That would be impossible because it would have to be 3 because Baron Corbin won the U.S. title. So that would have to be...
Well, that was good. I liked that Baron Corbin won it, but the match wasn't like anything that like blew me away or anything like that.
But Baron Corbin won, and that makes that match a B+.
Okay, fine.
Debate team. Got it.
All right, well, James, I know it's late on your end, so we should probably end it here.
It is 1:30.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. Thank you for doing this with me. I know it's late, but the people that are just listening in audio form later might want to know, or those who are watching on YouTube, where can we find you on social media and stuff?
Oh, if you're not already doing it yet, at Chill Hartman on everything. And follow me
on everything.
And then, follow me for, I guess, teasers and me like half spoiling shit for you midway through shows. The reputation I get.
And for those of you who are maybe just listening to the audio version of this, you can find the website and show. It's at Wrestling Sheet on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm at Ryan Satin on everything as well. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone that's in the chat.
No, do it. Everything.
And those of you in the chat, thank you for joining us as well. It's always good to have someone else chiming in here along the way. And I hope you guys enjoyed our show. What was that?
I said bye, Glenn.
Bye, Glenn. Bye, everyone else. There was a bunch of you guys chatting in there about different things. So I appreciate you guys, and we'll be seeing you guys very, very soon.
ProWrestlingSheet.com